Hey, we're on West Over Terrace near the overpass talking about road conditions and the potential for
Good morning and welcome to After GMS. We are live here on the WFMY News 2 Facebook page, already seeing some of our regulars and some new faces joining us this morning. Always fun to be with you. I'm Megan Malaris with Marissa Tansino in for Tracy and meteorologist Christian Morgan.
Yeah, I feel like I say this every day. It's been such a busy week of weather and we still, are out there looking at the road conditions because, Christian, the temperatures are just so cold, so there are some slick spots.
Yeah, there are some slick spots out there. After we had some rain yesterday and even some snow for some folks last night, our temperatures dropped well below freezing, and that's where we are now and where we will stay for the rest of today as well. Take a live look over downtown Greensboro right now. Kind of a cloudy and gray start this morning. Temperatures at 26 degrees in the Gate City. And that's about as warm as we're going to get today, honestly, maybe up to 28, but we've actually already hit that temperature today. Take a look at those smaller numbers in yellow just to the right of the bigger numbers. 13 degrees, 18 degrees in Winston-Salem right now. Those are the feels like temperatures when you factor in the wind, because we have that as an element to our weather today as well. Winds could gust around 20 to 25 miles per hour at times today. So notice, even though we're in the 20s, I say that like it's warm. We're in the 20s today, which is cold enough, but you factor in the wind and it'll feel like it's in the teens for much of the day, if not all day long. Of course, taking a live look at radar, where is our system? Where's our cold front now that moved by yesterday? Because that's important to what happens tonight. Well, it's actually kind of draped just off the coast down to our south and to our east, and it's a focal point for the showers that you're seeing along the coast and even some freezing drizzle in some locations along the coastal regions of North and South Carolina as well. Now, of course, the big question all week has been where this front stalls out and where that area of low pressure redevelops. Right now, watch as we go through in time this evening, that low will redevelop along the coast, but way off to the east. So we get put on the backside and all this wraparound moisture. And notice that hard cutoff where you see that precipitation cutoff. You see the snow really ending, kind of cutting the triad in half, which is why this has been such a difficult forecast to nail down and why it's been tough to put specifics on maps as far as totals and that sort of thing, because one jog to the east with this system could keep us completely dry. One jog to the west would mean that we could have a couple inches of snowfall. All of that's still on the table, even on the day of. That's just why this is such a tough system to nail down. So we'll watch that as we go into this evening and take a closer look here in just a second. But heading into tomorrow, the system will pull away from us. High pressure will build back in. We'll clear things out, but we will stay cold for the remainder of the weekend and dry to round out the weekend and kick off next week. There'll be another little bit of a front that slides by on Tuesday, but that looks just to bring us a little bit of regular rain. Here's a closer look at today on Futurecast. Notice we stay cloudy and those temperatures really hold strong in the 20s. Now, as we go into this evening, mainly after about 5 and 6 o'clock, that's where our snow chance starts to come in. But again, notice that hard cutoff line. We are living on the edge, people, living on the edge. One jog again to the east would keep us completely dry. I think the better chance for snow showers is going to remain Greensboro and then to our east. Although, again, if it comes a little further west, that would mean a better chance for the triad. This is just not a system where the mountains and foothills really get much. Just not this time around. Actually, eastern North Carolina, northeastern North Carolina, up into Virginia, they're going to get the better end of this deal with the snowfall. Now, coastal North Carolina, down into South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, Grand Strand area, they're likely dealing with a big ice situation down that way. So, of course, our thoughts and prayers to them as they deal with probably numerous power outages down that way out of this storm. As far as snow totals go, again, better chance is going to be to the east of Greensboro, but couldn't rule out a coating, maybe up to a couple inches in some spots if you were to get some snow. So we'll watch that as we go into this evening. And a lot of times we talk about the chance for showers, chance for rain. This is really a chance for snow. Today. That's just kind of how the setup is. Again, trace maybe nothing at all if you go west of the triad back to the foothills and mountains. Just not a system for those folks. I will say, keep in mind all day, there could be some slick travel in spots, not only this morning, but throughout the day into tonight, into Saturday morning as well, because temperatures are going to stay below freezing. So anything that fell last night, anything that's frozen right now, won't really have the chance to melt because we don't really have any sunshine. I'll also say this too, be mindful of your stairs, of your railings, of your car handles and car doors. They're also slick as well this morning and will be today. So keep that in mind as you head out and about. Cloudy this morning, watching for some snow showers again as we go into this evening, and then heading into the weekend. We drop down into the teens tonight, so nothing will have the chance to melt. And we spend a good portion of your Saturday at freezing or below. Temperatures, though, eventually I think climb above freezing, mid-30s by Saturday afternoon. The sunshine will help too. We'll be bringing that back on Saturday as well. Down into the teens again Saturday night, low 40s on Sunday. We'll kick off next week cold and dry with sunny mid-40s on Monday.
All right, so the big focus today obviously is those freezing temperatures, not getting above freezing at all. And we had all that rain last night causing some refreezing on the roads this morning, hence the reason why we've seen school districts take precautions, can't chance putting buses on the road. So many going remote or canceling classes again today.
Yeah, we have made a lot of progress on those main streets. We saw melting from those side streets, but you're still going to need to give yourself extra time for your morning commute. We have WFMY News 2's Denise McMiller live in Greensboro with how roads look this morning. Denise.
Yeah, well, we have the remnants of last weekend's storms still lingering, and now we've got the cold temperatures. I've been out here since about 5 this morning, and as Christian said, I think it's getting colder. I don't know if it's the wind that's picking up, but that is what we're concerned about. These cold temperatures can make for slick spots on some of these overpasses. This is Westover Terrace here in Greensboro, and this is what we're worried about. Now, we do know that city crews have been out here. They have laid some salt down. You may be able to see some of that here on Westover Terrace, Wendover Terrace, excuse me. You may be able to see some of that on this overpass and also on some of the bridges as well. So we do know city crews have salted these areas. NCDOT has also been out here. They have put salt on the interstates and primary roads, but you do want to be cautious because there is a potential for black ice. We know that type of ice is a bit more dangerous because you can't see it. It's like a thin, dark layer or sheet of ice on the roads that you can't see. So just make sure when you're heading out, you're taking your time and you're being cautious and just driving slowly. We'll continue to keep you updated on any changing conditions throughout the Greensboro area. But for now, we'll send it back to you all in the studio.
All right, so Sunday's winter storm had some pros and cons as it lingered into this week, all the repercussions of that, but a lot of fun moments in the mix as well, from the sledding to the Good Samaritans who helped out. So we're asking you, when we started this conversation on the Good Morning Show, to share some of your best and worst moments of the week. And we're getting those responses in so far. While you drop a comment here, let's revisit a few highlights of ours. So we'll start with mine. My best moment was definitely seeing my 2-year-old son, Christian, go sledding for the first time. This was the moment, and he fell off not long after takeoff, but he had a good spirit about it, and we were out probably 5 times after that over the next couple days. He absolutely loved it.
Oh my gosh, he's so cute. And it's whether it's, your babies or your fur babies, this one is my best moment. If you've never seen a slow-mo video of a corgi, now you have.
So cute.
He loved playing in the snow. My boyfriend took this video, and he hasn't seen snow very much, so this was a treat for him, and he loved to play in it.
Oh my gosh, so
Asher had
cute.
so much fun. Here's one of mine. This was actually Sunday morning as we were on the Good Morning Show. It was just beautiful to watch that snow falling in our weather garden out here behind the station. Just beautiful. And I put it in slow motion, of course, just to get the full effect, right? So it was just so nice to see that snow falling Sunday morning, of course, before it changed over to sleet and then just kind of a mess. But I've always loved watching snowfall, even since I was a kid. And when it would fall at night, I would stay up late, of course, because school would be canceled the next day, and I would just sit and watch it fall for hours. So that's always been something I enjoy.
Well, here was the not so great part of the storm. Of course, the sleet and ice packing down roads, making for dangerous commutes. The reason school districts decided not to put buses on neighborhood roads this week, several going remote or canceling classes entirely. And we're still seeing some of the lingering impacts of that this morning with the refreezing. So we've asked you to share your best and worst moments of the winter weather this week. We got a few responses in. Rhonda said the best part of snow was watching this little guy, little pup, play. He looked like he enjoyed it just as much as Marissa's dog did. Here are a few more from my Facebook page. Carolyn said power stayed on during the storm and blessed God woke me up to another day. Ann said snow makes me feel like a kid again. It's exciting and pretty at 60. I enjoyed sledding this past weekend. Good for you, Ann. Carol said my good neighbor flattened the piled up snow blocking my driveway. And Shirley said she's 82. Her husband has Alzheimer's and a very kind neighbor who she had never met came and cleared her walkway and made a path to her patio gate.
Oh, I love that. We have some comments here. Deborah says her best was seeing the children make a snowman. I know I've seen some comments saying that the not so fun part was slipping and falling. We had a lot, and we mentioned in our newscast that, you know, there have been several calls into our first responders and to hospitals treating slip and fall cases. So you got to be careful out there for sure.
Yeah, because it wasn't just snow, it was that sleet that packed down the snow. So that brings up Joanne's comment. She said her funniest moment was watching her puppy try to walk on the snow and the ice. Interesting, I noticed my 2-year-old son, who's pretty big for 2. He's more than 30 pounds. He barely made an indent in the snow walking on it because it was so hard packed. And at that point we said, okay, probably not safe to sled anymore. But Christian, you know, that's what happened with this system. While it was good for sledding for a while, some of that ice did pack down the snow, which is the reason it's been so hard to clear.
Yeah, it makes it really, really tough to clear. Snow is easy to get rid of. Sleet and freezing rain and ice, it stays for a long time. You know, I said this kind of as a funny moment because I was okay, but I slipped and almost just completely busted it in my driveway earlier this week, of course, because of the ice. And I just posted it on my Facebook page. Thankfully, I was okay, so I was joking about it. But a lot of folks said they had the same thing. And the most common thing I saw, the most common trend and theme that I saw out of all the comments were that most people either fell or came close to falling while taking out their dog or walking the dog. And so that kind of seemed like the theme. You know, your dog maybe jerks you around and it doesn't take long for you to lose balance and to slip on that ice.
And Christian, you know Asher, and he is like that very much, where he will just take you.
He pulls.
Oh yeah, and he's not very well trained, I will say. And there were a few times where he was like, "Nope, I want to go this way," and I was like, "Well, if we go that way, then I'm going down." So it's definitely that would be a common cause.
Yeah. Dogs throw you off balance. So do 9-month pregnant bellies.
Babies.
Yeah, they do. So I guess one of the worst moments for me was just worrying about falling on the ice. But it actually turned into a good moment because my coworkers are so amazing. So many people offered to walk me to and from my car. Everybody made sure that the parking lot here was salted as best as it could be, that the spaces were cleared out so we could get to work to and from safely and not have to worry about those hazards. So I really appreciate all the teamwork and just the attention, making sure we were all okay.
Yeah, I mean, even today I came in and there was new salt sand on the ground, and I was like, all right, not going down this time.
No. All right, this is a great conversation. We have another one coming up. I see already some of you are weighing in on that based on the talker here in our comment section. So we'll go ahead and get to some morning headlines before we get to that. You want to check your flight status if you're planning to fly out of PTI Airport the next few days. PTI officials say airlines could cancel flights because this winter storm is affecting not just us here, but all up and down the East Coast and the South. So they say to call ahead before leaving home to make sure your flight is still on track. A section of I-40 is back open this morning after a deadly wrong-way crash last night. The woman behind the wheel passed away and 3 other people are in the hospital. At least 7 cars were involved, shutting down the interstate for about 5 hours. Highway Patrol still is looking into why the car was going the wrong way. Troopers say the driver, 69-year-old Pearlie Mae Williams of McLeansville, was reported missing by her husband about 20 minutes before the crash. 3 people that were in the car that was hit head-on are at the hospital with serious injuries. Law enforcement diverted cars onto Highway 70 until the interstate reopened, and Highway Patrol is investigating whether the wrong-way driver had a cognitive impairment. They're also waiting on a toxicology report.
This morning, we also have new details on the SBI investigation centered around a Triad nursing home. Police say just 3 staffers were taking care of the 98 residents at Pine Ridge Nursing Facility in Thomasville on Sunday during the winter weather. Officers found 2 dead and 2 others in critical condition. One of them is expected to leave the hospital soon. The other will need more time. And you can get a COVID test at one of 3 new testing sites at Atrium Health Wake Forest Baptist. The sites in Winston-Salem and Wilkesboro will be open Monday through Friday until mid-February. The site in High Point will be open Monday through Saturday. PCR testing is available to anyone 2 or older with or without symptoms. Appointments are not required but are recommended. Specific site locations are on our website.
All right, well, canceled flights, suspended school bus routes, empty grocery store shelves, those issues point to the impact of COVID-19.
Yeah, there is a huge domino effect at play here between the worker shortage and supply shortage and COVID-19. So we want to know what items, whether they're grocery and the hardware store, are you having a hard time finding right now?
I asked the question on my Facebook page, Nancy, and several of you here on our live feed say cat food has been hard to find. Margaret said milk couldn't find any kind or any size at a Walmart in Thomasville. Faith said she wanted a big salad but couldn't find lettuce, so she settled for a pre-made salad instead.
One viewer sent in a picture of near empty shelves. They say this was taken at a Food Lion. Kita says baby formula. Mary says bananas, yogurt, sour cream, cream cheese dip for chips, and orange juice. Those are all great things. It's a shame they're out.
Such random items that people are finding are out just at various places. We're hearing here on our live feed several throat drops are out of stock right now. David said he can do without bread and milk, but beer is a different story. Amy said random things, some chips out of stock, chicken breast, but she found it at another store, so seemingly you have to shop around. Robin said milk, ground beef. She did find some at Sam's Club, but she lives 30 to 40 minutes away. Carol also was looking for cough syrup and was very limited on what she could find. And then we heard from some other viewers who were saying different meats were out of stock.
Yeah.
For me, when I went to the grocery store the other day, I expected low supplies of milk and bread. I mean, we just had a storm. We were at that point anticipating possibly more accumulating snow this weekend, so people were trying to stock up again. I expected to find those aisles pretty bare, but I didn't expect to find not one box of lettuce. But it makes sense upon thinking about it. You know, lettuce is very hard to keep good. It has not that long of a shelf life, and so if these trucks get backed up, they have to toss those items if they arrive at the store and they're no longer valid to be eaten. So, you know, I did find a head of a big head of organic romaine that was way overpriced.
Yep.
But
of course.
I couldn't find any of the boxed lettuce that's pre-washed.
Yeah, and it's funny because you posted that picture right after I went to my local grocery store, which I go to the one that's near the Friendly Center, and they had lettuce, but some other foods they didn't have. I've noticed cream cheese, huge issue. Never can find it. So when I go and they have some in the little fridge there, I buy like 6 containers, and the lady scans me like, okay, she loves cream cheese, but I just don't want to not be able to find it.
Well, remember cream cheese was an issue back at Christmas time? Yep. I mean,
there
was legitimately a shortage.
Don't eat cheesecake.
Right, you couldn't have cheesecake at Christmas. Apparently that's continuing. Yeah. Christian, what have you had a hard time finding?
You know, somebody mentioned it here in the chat a little while ago, but said they couldn't find, one of our local favorites, Niece's sausage. And really a couple weeks ago, I went and I tried to find it for a dip that I was making. Went to 2 or 3 different grocery stores, and I mean, none at all in sight, completely wiped out. And the other thing, this is really random, I know, but I've been having a really tough time finding like these mini pie shells. I don't know why that is. I guess people are making mini pies lately. I don't know.
Are you making mini pies?
Maybe I'm not now because I can't find the shells anywhere.
Well, That would have been a nice treat.
I know. Come on.
Would have been.
Yeah, cat food is interesting. I mean, that's actually concerning. I have a cat. I usually buy big bags in bulk, and so I have not thought about buying any in a while because we're good for a little bit. But that's alarming if you can't find food for your pet. I mean, what do you feed them? I've also heard issues with some of those online companies that ship you cat food. They're out of certain things. So. And you can't just switch up the brand all of a sudden and expect your pet to eat it. Sometimes, you know, you have to mix it if you're switching food because they have digestion problems trying to switch to a new brand. So I don't know what the solution is besides maybe talk to your vet and see if they have some extra free samples in the meantime if you're waiting on an order.
That's a tough
one. Keep
one.
shopping around.
Especially cats too. Like, I mean, I've never owned a cat, but for like my dog, my mom's dog back home, very picky eater. He will only eat food if she puts like boiled chicken in it. So that's what she does. So I feel like there's makeshift solutions for dogs, but not so much easy. It's not as easy for cats.
Yeah, Rhonda had a good suggestion. She said check out Tractor Supply for your pet food.
That's a good idea.
Oh, that is a good idea.
Yeah, I think some pharmacies probably have it too. So sometimes you can find them at random places, not just the pet stores or the super centers. But yeah, I mean, that's obviously a concern if that were to continue. Let's see, Wanda said the only place that had Gatorade was a small convenience store she found. Let's see, a few other folks said chips, Sun Chips especially, I found are hard to find recently. So yeah, I mean, obviously this is all somewhat related to the supply chain issues from COVID. Now we have winter weather on top of that.
That doesn't help.
We have the truck driver shortage and the barges that are stuck at sea. It's all a combination of things, plus the highest inflation in 40 years that are all compounding these issues.
Yeah, so it's a tough situation to be in. My suggestion, my unsolicited advice, is to just try to, if you can, and I'm sure people have been doing this, check around to grocery stores because, you know, like the lettuce issue, my grocery store had one, Megan's didn't. So you could call too, and I've had success with calling, so to help try and curb those issues that we're seeing, but it's tough.
Yeah, especially if you have kids, you're trying to just make sure they eat healthy and nutritious meals. So, but hey, we'll get through this like everything else. So we're just grateful, of course, to be able to put food on the table.
Yes.
And that's a big blessing. All right, let's get a final check of our forecast. Christian, some more weather possibly coming tonight that we need to watch?
Yeah, first things first, we need to keep an eye out for slick spots today. There are definitely some in places. Now, I don't expect it to be crazy slick, but just be mindful of that. We are in the 20s this morning, and we will stay in the 20s for the rest of the day. Cloudy for most of the day, and then as we work our way into this evening, really after about 6, 7 o'clock, I think we could see a few snow showers, mainly east of Greensboro. I know it's funny, we always tell you about the chance of some rain. This is really the chance for some snow. It's been a really difficult forecast to nail down so many different specifics that we haven't been able to nail down just because of our location to and proximity to that area of low pressure. So we'll be right on the edge. Not to say we couldn't get a little snow falling this evening. The better chance, though, will be east of Greensboro, and it could put down a coating, maybe a quick inch or two in some spots. So be mindful of that. But the slick travel will continue for the rest of today, into tonight, into your Saturday morning as well. Temperatures dropping down into the teens tonight. But we do clear things out heading into Saturday. Sunshine is back, but we spend a lot of the day at freezing or below it. I think we finally come above freezing tomorrow afternoon, and the sunshine should really help to do that as well. Back in the teens Saturday night, low 40s on Sunday with sunshine, and we'll kick off next week chilly with sunny and mid 40s for Monday. We'll have another chance at, right now it looks to be some regular old rain for Tuesday. We'll keep an eye on that one, and then we're just staying cold for a while. January is locked in with the cold weather, making up for all the warm weather that we had back in December, I guess.
All right.
Well, it is January.
Yeah, it is. And, it can be a long winter when you feel like you're in the middle of it. So
January's almost over. We'll see what February holds.
Oh, geez.
That can be snowy.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks so much for joining us here on WFMY News 2's After GMS live on the News 2 Facebook page. We do this every weekday at 7:45. We hope you enjoy your weekend and get out there and get to it.